Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Real Talk here on Shelbyville Now. I'm David Thomas. This is Bo Gill.
Hello.
We're here to talk about some current events, about what's going on around the country, around the state, our area, Bedford County, Shelbyville,
what's going
everything.
on?
What's
Real
going
talk.
on. And Bo, I know the first thing out of the gate this morning I saw where France's government had collapsed. And I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But their prime minister did not win a vote of confidence. They voted negative on him. And I don't know, when could we do a vote of confidence on our politicians around here?
Well,
I know besides every election,
but
we should be able to just do a vote of confidence.
We should, but I don't.
If you're not doing good, get out.
Yeah, but I don't know if that defines your government. I
don't
know
either. What does it mean?
Yeah, that you asked me that earlier, and I didn't know. That's the first thing I said. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm sure that there are still government workers that are still getting their paycheck, working the deal. I bet it's pretty stable.
Don't know.
It sounds like they got a bad vote of confidence.
And somebody's got to go.
Yeah. So in other words,
he's gone. He's already gone.
He's
gone. So Macron. See, this was the prime minister, which
right.
he runs the country. Now you got Macron, which is the president.
Right.
You got that situation.
Yeah.
So he's got to be replaced. I don't know if they have an election. Some places.
I mean, is this a legal coup in some sense?
I just think it's like he's an idiot and their people don't like him and he's gone.
Well, it's a shame because France is such a historic country. I mean, just a beautiful country. It's really prevailed through some war.
Well, I know.
Being occupied by Nazi Germany.
I got kinfolk that's over there right now.
Do you really?
Yeah, just arrived. Wow. And I'm just wondering if it was his fault. He showed up and they just went.
It might have been.
They went crazy. I'm gonna have to text him and see if he's
Do you
okay.
speak French, by the way?
No.
Well, good. I'm glad that you can speak with him. And
no. All right, but anyway, no, he just visiting. He just went over. He just flew over there,
and the country crumbled.
Yeah,
he's there.
He lands and the thing falls apart. All right,
I see what you're saying.
All right, but anyway,
I don't know. It's interesting to see what
that's our world news, and there's a ton of stuff. We had an attack in Israel. Okay. The Ukraine is still getting hammered and nobody wants to admit they're getting their butt kicked. I don't understand this.
Israel's talking about annexing Gaza again. They're talking about occupying
right,
it.
So we got that going on. It's just constant
war
garbage.
And rumors of wars.
Exactly right. That's what the Bible says. Bo, before we dive into some local stuff here, we need to take a break and hear from our sponsor.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's hear from Norris Plumbing. Great service.
Multi-generational family.
Yeah. Will come in the middle of the morning, in the middle of the night, whenever you got a problem. They're there to take care of it. Let's hear from them. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Norris Plumbing has been serving our community for 3 generations, providing reliable solutions for every plumbing need. From water heaters and water lines to kitchens, baths, and complete repiping, our team delivers quality workmanship you can trust. Professional service means arriving on time, explaining the problem, and completing the job with precision. At Norris Plumbing, we stand behind our work because your home deserves the very best. Call Norris Plumbing today at 931-703-5915. Norris Plumbing, trusted, professional, dependable.
All righty, welcome back in here to Real Talk. And Bo, this morning I was looking over some headlines and I saw somewhere where President Trump was thinking about sending National Guard troops to Nashville and Memphis. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, okay, that doesn't sound right. Mm-hmm. So I got to looking, and that was a rumor. Yes. Obviously, that wasn't it. But still, Memphis is probably a possibility.
It is.
Because it's murder capital of the United States.
It is. And what we're finding out in most of these instances is that the local government is too, liberal or they're too democratic.
They're Democrat run
to recognize that the federal government's coming in there to help. They're taking it defensively and they're fighting back. And we're seeing this in each of these large cities that Trump's really trying to help and to help the people that are living there, the good people, and to take away crime.
Well, we've talked about this before, and Trump has talked about this before. Before you can have, and we've talked about this locally, before you can have a successful community, a successful state, a successful country, you have to have peace.
You do.
And you have to have peace within your borders, especially. When you got turmoil, how in the world would you go to San Francisco, California, and start a business there? And you expect to have a public place set up to sell products, maybe.
It
There's
doesn't
no
happen.
way. It's a war
It,
zone.
look, it just historically, that's how it is. When the frontier of the West started here in America, there was not much law. Law was way back east, and it took days, if not months, to travel back to have some type of resolution. The people stepped in, vigilantes, then the law kept up. Now, when law got there, that's why it's such a special institution, and why you see these old things, these of just letting the law work. We don't have any of that in a lot of these cities now. They're lawless. They're running lawless. They're ignoring laws.
Okay.
They're letting criminals out of jail, murderers.
Oh, they just turn them loose.
And that's not good for a successful community. I mean, that's common sense. That's not any
But
type of political take or anything.
I know. You just take out and look at all the areas that Trump is wanting to send National Guard troops to. There's no common sense anywhere.
No.
It's just void of common sense.
It's all it is. They're being the federal government's being met with just get away.
Okay.
The national mayor came out. So no, we're good. We're taking care. I get it. I think that they're feel a little bit like, hey, we got this. And if you then maybe they need to step it up. Maybe this will encourage them to step it up. And if they can't,
let's just put it to the test, and let's just talk about it. And if you out there, I see you, Allie. Thanks for the comment. You're 100% right. They are cowards. Okay. And the reason they are cowards is that's just who they are. Okay. It's built into it's just built. There's no backbone, no fight in them. Don't care as long as they can run their criminal operation and get their money in their pocket. That's where our government is at this moment. All right. Have you ever been to Memphis?
I have.
Would you just walk around in the main part of town there?
I would love to, but no, sadly.
No, you won't do it, will you?
I won't.
All right.
No.
Let's just bring it a little closer to home. Let's go to Nashville. Would you walk downtown down there? I mean, even where the honky tonks are and all that, Printers Alley and stuff, would you just walk around down there past 9 o'clock at night?
No, not maybe if I was younger, but no.
In a group of people, maybe, but there's no way I'm doing it by myself unless I'm heavily armed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. No, I would not. It's
with
dangerous.
Extra clips.
I mean, it's every night. It's almost. Would you pose the question? Would you drive down Interstate 24 at night? Because it appears people getting shot left and right. I mean, there's carjackings. There's all these crazy throwing eggs on windows. Did you see that report?
Yeah.
Threw eggs so they would pull over. There's this going on Interstate 24 on this corridor. This
right here.
Right here.
All right, let's just bring it on home, okay? Right. Are there places in Shelbyville, Tennessee that you would want to walk down the street after 9 o'clock? Are there places in Shelbyville that you would be afraid to walk? I'll say yes, absolutely. Not unless I'm heavily armed.
Yeah,
and one of the places is right here where we're sitting, Bo.
Yeah, I would say that you could probably ask that in every community, and that they could say yes. And there's one of the problems, so now you put it on a large level like Nashville or Chicago. Look,
bring it right here.
How many murders happened, in Chicago just this weekend? Probably like 60 or 70.
More than there was in Baghdad.
But when you talk about right here, the crime is all you got to do is listen to the police scanner. I mean, there's crime going on. There's not a multitude of it. We're not a multitude of a populous area. I mean, we think we are because we live here.
Well, there's more than you think. There's a lot of it that don't get reported. It just happens.
There's a lot.
Okay.
And drugs are one of the main causes of that. We know that. This fentanyl stuff that's come along in the last 15 years, really heavily, 10 years, that's killing people, overdosing.
Right, let's talk
fighting
about
that all the time.
I got a report right here that talks about the southern middle Tennessee area. And of course, I think that's what District 17 Drug Task Force.
Yes.
I think it's 17.
That's right.
I hadn't heard a report lately, but I just got to doing some digging right here, and it talked about our primary threats: illicitly manufactured fentanyl, often in counterfeit pills.
Yes.
This is sophisticated.
So what they're doing is they're, actually online, I've seen that on reports that the criminals buy these pill formers that look exactly like what you would buy from a pharmacy. They somehow stamp it, and now this guy's got his own pill that looks like grandma's pain pill, but yet it's got deadly dose of fentanyl in it.
All right, fentanyl and counterfeit pills, methamphetamines. Okay, rising polysubstance overdoses are in fentanyl mixed with stimulants like Zalaxine, which is a horse tranquilizer, and they call it Trank. Okay,
yes.
This came out. I wrote an article about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, where it started. And up in Pennsylvania, there's one town that's just drug town. I forget the name of it. And there's people standing there out on their feet with their head down.
Like walking zombies.
Yeah, walking zombies. Yeah. And they call it the zombie drug.
Yeah. It's a horse tranquilizer.
Right, exactly.
You can imagine.
And that's what's going, that's here. Yeah. Within I-24, I-65, this little triangle, it's here. Yeah, okay? Yeah. All right, another fentanyl let's see. There's been record fentanyl seizures statewide in the entire state and nationally.
It seems like every night there's one. I mean, almost every night there's some type of report in Middle Tennessee of some type of fentanyl. And fentanyl is involved. It used to be marijuana and cocaine, and now it's fentanyl and meth and guns and cash.
Yeah, I also did some research and found out there's about 6 gangs actively working in this area between I-24 and I-65.
Yep.
They're funneling through Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, down through here. Some of them, there's one called the Felony Lane Cartel or something like that. Oh. And all they're doing is online hacking, stealing identity, financial crimes.
So this is not just drug related.
We got all kinds of stuff going on. Okay,
well, I do know that we have that 17th Judicial Drug Task Force. And I know that they work a multi-county area, and I know that they've had trouble, getting a lot of funding to build that up. But let me tell you, I think that's one of the best tools that a county can have. When you have a strong and an intimidating drug task force presence in town, where you never know where they're at. Well,
here's the problem, Bo, that we can have all the task force we want until the people stand up against this and say no more.
Yeah.
Okay. Our law enforcement needs help.
True. Yes.
We don't have enough people in our police department. No. We don't have enough people. When we got 3 or 4 officers patrolling all of Bedford County, how do you think they're going to deal with this? They can't.
And we've got great officers, great patrolmen, but
there's not enough.
The numbers don't work.
No, we're not even close. And there's no way that we'll afford to pay for the number of officers that we need to fight this. There's no way we'll do it because our property taxes will be 10 times what they are right now, and you wouldn't be able to afford it. Let me ask you this. This is talking about property taxes. Sorry to chase rabbits.
Chasing them rabbits.
Here's a rabbit. Okay. I asked Josh this the other day. We were off camera. I've asked 2 or 3 people, how much would you pay rent? And I'm not talking about to a landlord, to our county government and our city government. How much would you pay them just to live in this city and this county? If you lived in the county, how much are you willing to pay? How much am I willing to pay to live in the county or the city? And if you're in the city, you pay both. Okay. What's it worth? Put a price tag on it, Bo.
It's worth my fair share.
But that ain't the right answer. I'm not looking for a number.
I don't know.
What's the maximum that you would pay before you said that's too expensive, I'm going somewhere else?
I would have to shop around, David. I would have to shop around for those numbers.
Okay, but this is something we need to start looking at because we're getting to the point to where we're going to have to say, okay, if you're going to quit raising taxes, you're going to have to start limiting services.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's what our government's up against.
And they are up against that because we always talk about cuts or this and that. Look, when you talk about cuts or limiting things, it's there. We know that they're there. There are people that have needs that are some that can be cut back. I mean, but governments, it seems like in the last however hundreds of years, everything's just grown. We're going to
have to shrink.
And I think that we have to shrink, or we have to start, you start ordering your government services. Well, I think I'll take EMS this week. No police this month. I'm sorry, kids, if something bad happens.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. It's the 4 pillars that I think law enforcement. Number 1, peace. We have nothing without our peace and our safety. That's right. That's number 1. If I'm like waving a magic wand, I'm saying we need more police officers in the city of Shelbyville, and we definitely need more than 3 or 4 patrol officers for Bedford County covering this area.
So they need to put
55,000 people. We need more money for that.
A premium value on police officers, on sheriff's deputies. A premium. That's your number 1. That's your baby. You have that. I think a lot of that does fall in line. That creates, like you said, the more peaceful. I'm not saying it rids crime. Look, we're humans here.
The more you have, the bigger deterrent you have.
You do.
If you got police cars patrolling on a regular basis, it's a deterrent.
Yeah, it is.
And I've seen this work at our church.
Yes.
We recently got a hired sheriff's department or police officer, and they bring their car and sit it in the parking lot to let people know there's police presence here and this is a safe environment. This is a hard target now.
And I think that works very well.
Yes.
I think I've seen that at other churches, and I think that's a great idea. look, churches aren't a safe spot anymore. I'm sorry to tell the criminals, but if you come and try to cause trouble in a church,
around here, you gonna have
better
problems.
think twice.
Yeah. All right. So that's one thing, and we've talked about, but that number one thing is law and order, peace, and that's what Trump's doing with his National Guard people. We need that at the local level here. All the people that represent us, I think people, if they just listed number one priority is law and order and peace. Okay. We want our families to live in that. Second, we want the emergency services.
Yes.
Okay. If something happens, I need to be able to call somebody to come and get me, take me to the hospital.
Yes.
Or a hospital or whatever. The other is put out fires.
Yeah, put out
if
fires.
we have a fire and, heaven forbid somebody have to go through this and their home catches on fire, we need to do that. Those three things are top priority, Bo.
You're right. And when we have those three things, you want them to work like a fine machine. And in order that to happen, they have to be spaced out. So that's where, response times is the most important when you need them most at the time. And that's where we are as a county right now is, do we need to put some more in the city, especially a whole new police station or police precinct? I know they've been talking about a new area, and they have outgrown that area so much.
Here's the thing. I know that it's important for our fire department to be strategically located so that we can keep our rating down, our rating higher.
Oh, yes.
So that we can get cheaper insurance rates, because insurance premiums are going through the roof.
And they're
so that's a priority, and that's part of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. I know that it would be great to have the top-notch equipment for our police department and for our fire department. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much we want to spend on buildings, okay, because the work is done in the field, but they do have to have a place to come and be stationed at. Okay, that's another thing, and that's part of it. All right, then you look at this other stuff, Bo. The next thing down the list, as I've said many times on here, is our infrastructure, our roads, okay? That's important. Okay, and then we've got trash pickup and roads, EMS, emergency services, fire, police, number one. That's it right there. I don't need our government spending money to come in here and recruit people for retail. When you ain't got this, you ain't going to have any retail. But when you do have this, people want to come here and raise their families, and they might start businesses here.
They will.
If you get this stuff right, you don't have to hire somebody to go recruit. People are going to come here. And there's so many cities, I think Shelbyville's one and Beverly County's one. We get distracted by all the bells and whistles when we got to get these four things right.
It's fundamental. And a lot of times we get too busy and too caught up and we skip the fundamental, what's most important. And when you focus on those, it seems like the rest falls in place. Not without it. Has to be some hard work involved, of course.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen. But when you have the fundamentals correct, in most things, in a family, in a relationship, in a city, then when that foundation is secure and strong, then other things work well together.
I think our government administrative side has grown too big. Okay. In most small towns and most smaller rural communities, you said it a minute ago, our governments have grown. Our county government's grown in budget-wise double in the last 8 years. Yeah, doubled, but our population hadn't.
That's right.
Our services hadn't improved. As a matter of fact, right now, I bet you we don't have 4 Bedford County Sheriff's Department patrolmen out there because we're cutting corners because we can't afford them. By George, that's the number one thing.
That should be the number one thing.
We don't need 12 people sitting in the office. We need 12 people riding the patrol cars.
We do. Okay? We need our citizens.
All right,
safe.
and that's the bottom line. And I'm sorry.
No,
all right,
that's great.
I something on a lighter note about today at lunch. I assumed 2 things, and I got embarrassed. Okay.
Oh.
First of all, I went to the drive-thru and ordered fries and expected to get ketchup, and I get back to eat, and I'm not getting ketchup, Bo. Unless you beg for it, you're not getting it.
Oh, don't get me started.
All right, and then I know everybody jokes about they see me coming, and they all are ready to sabotage anything I order at fast food drive-thru. But honestly, 5 years ago, before COVID, they would throw ketchup in the bag. Now you got to ask for it.
Yeah, the only place I can get extra bags of toppings, it'd be Taco Bell. They usually always put it in there, but the ketchup thing,
that's out. You order fries, you assume you're getting ketchup, you're gonna be disappointed. So I assume that. Okay.
The bag should just have it in there. Well, look, I got one other thing we can hit for a lot.
Well, wait a minute. That's the other thing I want to tell you about. The other strategic move that I just did wrong and got embarrassed. I assumed that when people cut their grass and they were cutting along the road, that they would send the grass back in and not throw it out on the road. And I drive by and get pummeled with a bunch of gravel coming right out of a mower and dinging my car up. You know, I thought that people had enough sense, and that's where I miscalculated.
That's one of my pet peeves. And
you can't expect common sense to be used.
No, and look, this goes into the drainage. When you have curb and gutter in the city and you're blowing it into the street, it gets into the storm sewer. It creates a problem, and it creates a lot of high blood pressure, especially with Mr. Thomas here across from me.
Yeah. All right, Adam, you talking about people in the county have no choice at the trash guy. Yeah, if you live in the county, you either got to pay for a service to come pick it up, and there's still some of those around there come pick it up, or haul it to our county convenience centers. I'm thankful for the county convenience centers, but we don't need trash Nazis.
No, but
okay?
I know.
Just let's just throw our trash away. There's one place you can go. I promise. If you can get your car, out here in the El Bethel dumpster, they'll crush it. I'm telling you, they won't let you put anything in there. But you go over to Tollgate Road, you can't put a candy wrapper in that one.
He's tough. Look, I'm the family trash man myself. So yes, right. I mean, the county, us in the county, we've got it rough. But you know, hey, I'm glad and I'm thankful. I remember as a young lad growing up, but you remember the dump on the side of like Snell Road, and like they would just be
Snell Road
or New Center Church Road and Highway 231. They had like dumps just set on the corner, like dumpsters.
Oh, dumpsters, yeah.
And they would just pile up.
I remember that. But I remember the old dump on Sims Road where you could just drive a pickup truck and just throw stuff in there while it was burning.
It's just used.
Okay. I mean, that place was smoking all the time.
And you could always pick. You might find a chair or you might find this.
Oh, yeah. You could pick up some good stuff there. I mean, never mind.
No, never mind. I was going to mention the Philadelphia Phillies. Did you see that? I know I talked about that earlier. The home run ball. The home run ball with the Philadelphia.
Oh, where the lady turned and she embarrassed herself worldwide.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah. She went and took it away. The dad got it, put it in the little kid's glove. He was like happy. She came over there wagging her finger, and he gave it back to her. You know, that was a great.
I'd have thrown it on the field before I'd have done that.
It's kind of happened to me, one of those things, and I think I remember telling the guy, come and get it from me and you can have it. And that took care of it. Now, if he wanted to come, he might have got it, and that's okay. And I would have gotten embarrassed and beat up, but, you know, come and get it from me.
Yeah.
I earned that ball.
All right, Bo. Dylan Whitaker is talking about the county dump folks are my heroes. I can't figure out the new entrance and exit, though. Yeah, you just kind of got to be careful.
Just don't mess up there. There's
some Nazis. I'm telling you, we got trash Nazis.
I've had a few
I'm saying this joking around.
No, they're good at their job is what they are, and I don't like it.
One time I went in there with a vehicle that I own that's tagged for commercial, and it doesn't say what county you're from. And I pulled in there. He said, you can't be dumping trash here. I said, why not? He said, you're from out of this county. I said, no, sir. I've got I live right down here. Does he not
see the wanted posters all around?
I know. I'm like, I got a house right down the road here. And he looked at my tag. I said, that's a commercial tag. It don't have my county on there. But he thought I was coming in here from Coffee County dumping trash. And man, he was on it.
He's strict. And you know what? It gets my nerves sometimes. But man, he's doing his job. You can't hate him for that. He is doing his job.
Okay, ketchup is what we're talking about when I have oats. Okay, we can get the ketchup. If they would put them in the bags and we could fill those potholes.
Oh, yeah.
We could fill the potholes with ketchup.
Well, that's not going to happen. They're not going to give us ketchup.
That goes back to those 4 things I was talking about, though, Bo. We got to have police. Okay, let's go over them again.
Security.
So everybody knows. Write these down. We got 4 things that our government needs to take care of as priorities and let everything else go, and everything else will take care of itself. 1 is security, safety, law and order, police,
law and order,
and sheriff's department. Number 2, EMS, fire. We need that. These are life and death things that got to be taken care of. Priority, top priority. Next in line, roads and trash. Those 2 together, they're equal, I think. We don't want a trashy place.
You can get into health and safety with the trash.
But roads, we don't need to be going to the dentist every day. We won't hit a pothole and knock our teeth out.
No, we don't. We got to be observational, be self-aware.
So now, Bo,
do a little defensive driving.
How would you guys rate where we are as a city and county? If you live in the city, just say the city is on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 7. Okay. And I'm in the county, I'll give it a 6 or whatever it is. All right. And then that gets back to, Bo, what will you pay to live here?
Well, I've started calculating a little bit, and it's still incomplete. But I'm going to have to look at that. It won't be as much as I would pay to live in a city with more amenities, probably.
Amenities. What is an amenity? These 4 things to me are amenities.
Yeah, they are.
That's what I want.
More
right
retail
there.
thing is what
I could care less about that, Bo.
Well, that's what more probably
that's
the
what everybody
popular
says they want. But
answer would be.
the government's role in that is to make sure these other 4 things, and we'll get those amenities because people will come running in here when they find out you're safe.
Yes.
When they find out your roads are good, and when they find out that you're not trashy, and then the next thing down the line is probably your education system.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it is.
Right.
It is. And that's gets into family matters and a family and having the family back. The family is where it starts. And if we have that, and the family can be an educator too. And there's a lot of homeschool going on right now. But yes, education.
All right. Back to what Debbie's talking about. We're talking about ketchup because of customer service. Okay.
That's
one thing that I have seen drop off everywhere, Bo. Okay. That's why I bring up ketchup. Not getting ketchup in a bag it just used to be there. That was just part of it. It was built in. Are we at the point to where people just don't care anymore when they're taking care of customers? Is that what it is?
I think so.
It's just like we're doing you a favor now.
In some areas, but I've noticed some well-managed establishments that their employees do say thank you and hello, and maybe the extra things.
But
I think for the most part, in a lot of these areas, they're not being coached on the managerial spot. They didn't know from home, so yeah, they don't. They don't even know. I think sometimes.
Does anybody remember when you used to get that ketchup in there and they were like overload you with it?
Oh,
okay, all right.
It was a bad deal.
It's a money thing, I believe. Yeah. I think they're cutting every little penny.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, those things aren't free. I'd like to know what a pound of individual ketchup packets cost.
Speaking of pound, Bo, I was walking through the grocery store the other day, and about a month ago, I mentioned that I saw a pack of M&Ms that was $14.46. Well, that same pack is now $18.
Well, I'm gonna have to start bagging up them individually and start selling them or something.
How about just not eat them? I look in the mirror and I say I don't need M&Ms.
Well, that's a good way to quit. I mean, that's a good way to quit.
Ice cream.
I would think maybe that's happened to a lot of our smokers because cigarettes are like $10 a pack, and I think our M&M eaters, they're gonna just do away with M&M, and there's not another choice for M&Ms though. There's not a generic.
I don't care.
M.
Maybe I just don't need to eat them at all.
Well, just stick with the ice cream. No M&Ms on top. How about that?
All right, Bo. I'm going to put this article out here within the next day or so. Everybody be on the lookout for it. It's about the drug problems, the dangers, and how we can be on the lookout and help our law enforcement. And just some numbers that are like mind-boggling. Yeah. And it's not going away.
No, be there. And if you're a parent, have conversations with your kid. Yeah. I mean, there's things going on that the vaping is a big deal, around here, and who knows where some of these vapes are sold awful, and they're not made in safe places, let's just say, and they can have Lord knows what in there. I mean, there's a lot of poison out there. Yeah,
but there's a lot of stuff that's in those things, like legal, what is it? The marijuana derivatives,
the CBD.
The CBD oil is in some, and then the THC is in some, and the THC is not legal.
Right.
In the state of Tennessee, but yet they're getting it
finds its way,
and they're basically smoking pot.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, am I going to accidentally consume some meth next? I mean, or fentanyl? I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me if they're not being laced now as an attack on people. I mean, that's dangerous stuff.
I mean, say no to drugs, stay away from it. If you find it and you don't know what it is, turn it in or get rid of it. It's dangerous. It's taking lives, and this fentanyl stuff is no joke. It can be in the smallest of things, and it just takes the smallest of grain to end a human life. Yeah. It's sad.
Well, Bo, it's good sitting down.
And
always. Guys, thanks for tuning in today and watching. And anything you guys would like to talk about, if we're just sitting here yapping, just go ahead and type it in. And Debbie, we talked about ketchup because it just was one of those things.
Ketchup is an important condiment for the United States economy.
My taters needed ketchup, and I didn't get ketchup, and it's my mistake because I assumed we would get ketchup. All right, and also the lawnmower. If you're cutting grass, don't point inward. Don't throw your grass in on your lawn, not into cars and traffic. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, man.
It's not good. Just self-awareness. Be a little I ask everyone to have just a little bit more
Yeah.
self-awareness,
Okay.
and we'll all be great.
This week, if you see a police officer standing in line at a restaurant or in line to get coffee, pay for his coffee and tell him thanks for his service. Same thing with veterans. Did the same thing. Guys, we're going to get out here. And again, we're going to thank our sponsor, Norris Plumbing, for all your plumbing needs. And we'll be back again Thursday to talk about what's going on and have some real